Friday, November 17th. I'm your host, Sarah Beal. On today's show, we'll find out all about the wreaths being hung on Main Street, as well as some holiday events with the Main Street Hyannis Business Improvement District. Then we will chat with Assistant Harbor Master Brian Taylor. After that, we will check in with Recreation Program Coordinator George Noonan. He's going to tell us all about the upcoming Turkey Bowl at the HYCC. And finally, we will learn all about the Barnstable High School Drama Club's production of High School Musical. But first, let's get a look at today's top headlines. A reminder from the Harbor Master's Office to all boaters: unless a vessel owner obtains written permission from staff for a proven need and that the vessel is actively being used, no vessel shall be stored or placed on any town property between November 15th and April 15th. Any vessel remaining between those dates shall be considered abandoned property under this regulation. The town of Barnstable is not responsible for loss of property considered abandoned under this regulation. The DPW will be installing a new four-way stop at Strawberry Hill Road at Old Craigville Road in Centerville. This work is tentatively scheduled for the week of November 20th. It is also subject to weather. Advanced warning signs will be installed, as well as temporary red flags and reflective strips on the signposts to alert drivers to the new stop signs where there were none before. Stop signs do exist on Old Craigville Road. Those signs will be modified to alert drivers of the all-way stop. The Town of Barnstable Public Health Division will hold a flu clinic at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center on Thursday, December 7th from 2 to 4 p.m. The clinic is open to town residents only, and the fee is $3. For more information, you can call the Health Division at 508-862-4644. The 25th session of Inside Barnstable Town Government, a Citizens Leadership Academy, will begin January 30th. The Academy is an 11-week commitment with the goal of educating citizens of Barnstable about the operations of town government while also obtaining valuable feedback from those citizens taking part in the Academy. To date, over 700 Barnstable residents and employees have participated in the program. The classes will be on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 9 p.m. and will be held in various locations throughout the town. The program is free of charge and open to anyone who resides or works in the town of Barnstable. Class size is limited, so please register early to avoid the waiting lists. Applications are available at the Town Manager's Office or online at townofbarnstable.us. Up next, Melissa Chartrand talks with Cindy Dooley from the Main Street Bid about the wreaths being hung on Main Street.
I'm Melissa Chartrand. I'm here at the Hyannis Main Street Business Improvement District office. I'm sitting with Cindy Dooley, office manager for the Hyannis Main Street Bid. And it's very exciting times. It's the holiday season is upon us, Cindy. Are you singing?
Sure is.
If Elizabeth Wolfbane, the executive director, were here, she would sing through the entire interview.
Well, I won't be doing that.
Okay. But let's talk about, we're here to talk about the stroll that comes up. It's usually, it's always, I should say, the first Saturday in December. It is the oldest running stroll on Cape Cod. Mm-hmm. And there's lots of exciting pieces to it.
There certainly are. There certainly are, starting with decorating the street, getting ready for the stroll. We had a wonderful program that was started last year between the Main Street Bid, Elizabeth Wolfbane, and the Barnstable High School Transition Program, special needs group, who came together, and for a couple of months they met and designed and made some special wreaths to hang on the light poles on Main Street.
I love the story. I mean, and that's what I think the holiday spirit is all about. They were so excited to work on this project. Did they work with some of the merchants as well, or design them with them in mind?
Some of the merchants gave them supplies from their stores. Let's say the joke shop, they gave them some joke items so that they could put those on their wreaths. So that was kind of exciting for them to do that with the stores.
And those go up for the holiday season.
They do. They're starting to go up right now as we speak.
Excellent. And then also, as far as decoration, I know that the merchants themselves decorate the windows, not just for the stroll, but for the entire season.
For the entire season.
And you have some friendly competitions around that as well.
We do. We have a window display competition. That's very exciting for a lot of people. We also have a cookie tasting contest that a lot of the stores participate in, and the people come and they can vote for their favorite cookie.
This is all during the stroll.
Sorry, yep, that's during the stroll, yeah.
So let's go back to the strolls. We said
Yep.
we talked about the wreaths that get hung, and so I want to point that out because as people are along the street, we would love them to stop and take a look at the various designs and know the history behind that. But the stroll goes really all day. It starts very early with a breakfast with Santa.
Breakfast with Santa at the British Beer Company, sponsored by the British Beer Company and the Greater Hyannis Chamber of Commerce. And they have 2 seatings for that, one at 9 and one at 10:30. And you can get tickets on their website or at the British Beer Company.
Sure. And then in addition to Breakfast with Santa, that almost kicks off as that event ends, and that is a ticketed event. But the stroll is free, and we encourage everyone to come down. They could do a little shopping, enjoy some holiday cheer, because it's nonstop activities going on.
Nonstop
Tell
activities.
us about some
Yep.
of those.
Santa arrives by antique fire truck in the morning. And then the children can visit with him in a couple different locations. We have this year a very exciting skating rink, artificial skating rink that will be set up.
This is a big deal. This is something
a really
new.
big deal.
I would say every year the stroll, there's always a new addition. It's a big holiday tradition for everyone to kick off the holiday season and come and spend some time down here. But every year you have a thing, and this is a big thing.
This is a really big thing. Yeah, this is the first time that this type of rink will be on this end of Massachusetts, on the southern part of Massachusetts. It's never been to Cape Cod or below Boston, I believe. So it's very exciting. It's going to be really fun. It's regular skates. And next to that will be an inflatable warming house, which will be fun too. And they'll be serving hot chocolate and that kind of thing. So that's really exciting.
Sure.
We're looking forward to that. And that'll run most of the day from 11 to 3 anyway.
And primarily, Cindy, the activities are 11 to 3 because what's also unique about your stroll is that you work with several other organizations. I know the Hyannis Civic Association and others. And you have the stroll all day, and then Santa, who came earlier and is there to greet children all day, takes a little bit of a break and then arrives by boat. What I think is really cool here in Hyannis is we have a boat parade.
That is exciting. That is exciting. And fun for everybody.
And fun for everyone.
Yeah. Yep.
So they can enjoy the day on the street, stroll down to the harbor front, watch Santa arrive, and then afterwards come back. All the merchants are open and the restaurants are open as well.
Restaurants, yeah, for some dinner or some hot toddies or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
It's a great day.
It is a great day. So let's let our viewers know where they can see. You get this chair today, but Santa will be in this chair.
Yeah, this is Santa's chair.
And they can stroll. There's, as you mentioned, the cookie stroll. There's all sorts of activities going on.
Yep.
And I know that you have a detailed list. Where can our viewers get more information?
On our website, hyannismainstreet.com, or on our Facebook page. We also have Twitter, Instagram. So that's really the best place.
It's very easy to find the
Very
information.
easy.
And in fact, on artsbarnstable.com, we have a link to it as well, so that any which way, there's no excuse for anyone to not have the information to get down there. So Cindy Dooley, Office Manager, Hyannis Main Street Business Improvement District, thanks for your time today and sharing about all the fun festivities for the Hyannis Village Christmas Stroll. And I'm Melissa Chartrand, wishing you an artful day.
Now let's check in with Assistant Harbor Master Brian Taylor. Brian, thank you so much for joining us today. We've got a few things to talk about for the Harbor Master's office. The first thing we want to touch on is vessels need to be removed from, like beaches and kind of near docks between November 15th and April 15th?
Yes, Sarah, thank you for having me today. Dinghies need to be removed by November 15th, which was Wednesday. If the dinghy is not removed, you have to have written permission by the Harbor Master's office. It needs to be, work-related. Permission needs to be granted in order to keep your dinghy at one of those locations. If you've already emailed us or obtained written permission, you're okay. If not, your dinghy can be considered as abandoned, and marine environmental staff, the Marine Environmental Affairs staff will and can remove the dinghy. And like I said, it would be considered abandoned property.
Can you explain why you don't allow vessels to be stored over the winter?
Okay, well, First off, we don't want the vessels to get damaged in any weather events that happen over the winter. Secondly, if vessels are in a location for an extended period of time, it could have some damage to some of the beaches, as well as, like I said, with weather events, erosion. Also, we don't want people leaving dinghies at locations for an extended period of time because they could get stolen. So, and people need to claim their property, check it out, make sure it's working okay, make sure it's working properly. That way, when they go to use it in the spring, it's safe enough to get out to their vessels on moorings. It's really a safety.
Yeah, definitely a safety issue. Mm-hmm. We also want to talk about that you guys have been in the process of removing aids to navigation from the channels across town. Explain a little bit about what's going on here.
Yeah, so Marine Environmental Affairs staff goes out and removes all aids to navigation. Most of the aids to navigation, if not all of them, will be removed by Thanksgiving. We're currently in the process of removing them. We actually place our vessel in the water. We go out with a lift and lift them out of the water. We take them back to the office where we do maintenance on them, wash them off. Sometimes there's growth on there. We have to scrape that off. And just really getting them ready for next season and to go back in the spring. Right.
It's important to do. You want to make sure that your buoys and such are in good working condition so that there's no issues. It makes sense to take them out, check them over, make sure everything's good, and then put them back in so everyone can be safe.
That's right.
There's not too many boats out on the water this time of year, so.
No, there's not too many, and most of the public that is out on the water is mostly the commercial guys, and they're very familiar with the area.
Yep. Also, we want to remind everybody about mooring renewals. So let's talk about that because that'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, so everyone look out for mooring renewals to start putting out in the mail, and you'll get them around the first of the year for 2018. It's important that everyone pays attention to the mail. They have the right address here at the office where they receive mail, so there's no issues with obtaining their mooring permit because they do need to submit it back to the office with a check and all the required paperwork. So let's just make sure everybody pays attention to the mail and doesn't lose that paperwork when it comes. Put it in a location that it's going to be available and you're going to see it, so you don't forget about the deadline, which is February 28th.
Right, it's important. Nobody wants to miss out in having their boat be able to be on a mooring when the warm weather hits. And it's important to make sure everyone's information is up to date because if you've moved, you definitely want to make sure that you guys know because if they don't get that renewal, then they could miss out on their mooring for next year.
That's right. Also, don't forget, waiting list renewals will also be mailed around the same time of the year, so some people may receive both copies, and to look out for the mail for that, and make sure, like we talked about, that you submit all the paperwork for waiting list renewals by the 15th of February.
Wonderful. Anything else you want to let our viewers know about before I let you go?
We had a busy summer season. Mooring-wise, we offered 111 people new moorings. Out of those 111 people, 39 people were granted new moorings, and 39 new moorings were placed in the town of Barnstable waters, which is a great number. It's quite a extensive and time-consuming project to add new moorings, but we are doing our best, and we had a busy season. Obviously, it was the summertime, although there's not many boats in the water in the winter. We are still very busy with renewal season and getting everything ready for next spring.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us today. And thanks for all the hard work you guys do. Good luck cleaning off all those buoys and such.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Bye. My guest today is Brian Taylor. He's an assistant harbor master here in the town of Barnstable. Coming up, we will learn all about the Barnstable High School production of High School Musical with Channel 18 intern Mackenzie Connor. But first, Recreation Program Coordinator George Noonan tells us all about the upcoming Turkey Bowl taking place this weekend at the HYCC. George, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Sarah.
So we're going to talk about some fun things that you guys got coming up. You have a turkey bowling at public skating this weekend.
Turkey bowling is a Saturday at 4 o'clock in the Butler Rink during our public skating session. And turkey bowling is kind of like just a way to kind of jazz up public skating a little bit. We set up a couple of bumpers around in the area with some pins with turkeys' head, turkeys' faces, pictures of turkeys on them, and kids can come by and knock down the pins and win a couple prizes.
Fun.
Yeah, so.
It's kind of a fun way to get ready for Thanksgiving, which is next week.
Absolutely, and no real turkeys are hurt in this process,
right.
So, It's always a good thing.
And you're not bowling frozen turkeys on the ice
No,
or anything like that?
No, we've moved on from that.
Wonderful. What's the age range for the turkey bowling?
Anyone can do it. You know, kids, adults. You know, we basically go by our audience. So if there's a young kid there, we'll have a prize for young kids. If there's an adult that wants to do it, it might be a family prize. So it's just really just try to get some families and people out there and doing something different instead of just skating around in a circle the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
You guys do a lot of public skating at the rink. What time will this be on Saturday?
This runs from 4 to 5:20 during our usual public skating block. And you know, we'll still have public skating. We'll just set up the bowling area around it. So if you don't want to bowl, that's fine too. Just come skate.
Yeah, just pass on by.
Absolutely.
Watch the other people have fun.
Yes, it happens.
Are you going to have public skating over the Thanksgiving break?
Yes, and it's usually a very busy season for us. On Saturday and Sunday, we have it from 2:10 to 4 on both days. So that's usually when we have it. So,
oh yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people coming down because they're.
Oh yeah, families are in town, so it's a big weekend for public skating. So.
Wonderful. I know that hockey season is upon us, and high school hockey is going to be starting really soon.
Hockey season starts the Monday after Thanksgiving,
wow.
And we'll be hosting again the Barnstable High School for the boys and girls, varsity and JV. We'll be also hosting St. John Paul for their varsity and JV program, as well as the Mashpee-Monomoy co-op program.
Wow. I mean, you could go to the rink at any time and see a hockey game, it sounds like, with all those teams.
Yeah.
And then you have the youth hockey.
And the Seahawks with their junior team. It's, you know, it's a little awe-inspiring sometimes. You know, we have a couple days coming up, in January, where we have pretty much every team that skates in the rink playing a game.
Wow.
So it makes it a little crazy, but we get through.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the building's for. It's
that's right.
To support those teams.
Absolutely.
And support the kids in town. And, you know, I know that you have adult stick practice, too, if, you know, grown-ups are interested in coming out and maybe dusting off their skates.
Absolutely. We have lunch stick on Mondays and Thursdays at noon, so that's usually pretty popular for adults. You know, college kids, when they come home, they look for, if they want to get on the ice, hang out with friends, great time to do it. On Sunday nights, we have for parent-child, for kids who are pretty much like 6 to 12 years old. They go out there with their parents and pass the puck around and shoot around a little bit. So that's always nice.
Cool. That's a good way for like the parents to kind of maybe work with their kids on, you know, some of their hockey skills if they have that background.
Yeah,
you know?
It's really tough for, hockey being somewhat an expensive sport. It's really tough for you. Like, you know, it's not like football or baseball where you can go outside and have a catch or play catch or something like that. Hockey, you have to be on the ice. So the idea behind parent-child stick or family stick is that, you know, to get those out there, get the people out there and let them play.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I also know that winter registration began this week.
Off and running.
Yeah.
Off and running.
Oh yeah, I already know that the Wicked Cool Science is filled up because my my boyfriend tried to sign up his kids for that and it's already full. So there's a lot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it happens. You gotta get on that waiting list.
Yeah, there's a lot of great programs still out there. Basketball's filling up quick. Figure skating, learn to skate hockey. There are other science programs. There's half days of play. There's our after-school program that runs out of the HYCC. Still spots there. Street hockey. There's a lot still going on. So if your kid wants to do something, there's a good chance it's in that brochure.
Wonderful. Yeah. Great. Well, thank you, George, for coming in and talking to us today about
my pleasure.
All this wonderful stuff that's happening.
All right.
I really appreciate it.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
My guest today is George Noonan. He's a program coordinator in the Recreation Division.
Hello, I'm Mackenzie Connor, intern for Channel 18. Today we have Barnstable High School seniors Matt Geiler and Maddie Lamoth joining us to talk about the newest production of High School Musical. Thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So can you tell me a little bit about your roles in the play and how it all started?
Well, I'm playing Ryan Evans, and...
Oh, I'm playing Gabriela Montez, and it basically started as kind of like a little joke between the juniors mostly. I think the seniors were gone at that point. But we kind of really wanted to do the show because we knew it would get us a lot of attention and it would kind of make us a lot of money. And it would be really fun to do just as like a really fun fall show in place of a haunted house. So we asked Billard and he was like, of course, we can do that. But it was all up to us to do everything. So I co-directed, and Matt was assistant to the director. You're also paint lead.
I also paint lead, so I helped design the set and design the paint for the set.
Nice. So what does it look like being a director for the show?
It was deceptively hard to do. It's a really energetic show, and we wanted to not carbon copy the characters, but we wanted to let everyone see the show, like the movie on stage. So it was really tricky getting everyone to kind of, because we have a lot of new actors, so we had to get everyone kind of on the same page. A lot of people were learning stuff. We have a lot of dancing in this. So it was hard, but it was really rewarding. I'm really proud of how it's going to look on stage.
So what do rehearsals and like dress rehearsals look like?
So rehearsals usually start at like 2 o'clock, 2:30, and they usually run until about 5 o'clock. This week, it's a little different though, because we have a lot of moving parts. We have the band, we have getting into hair, makeup, costuming, miking yourself up. And so that call for that is usually at 4 o'clock, and that usually runs to about 8-ish. And we're doing that all week until opening.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So where do you get all your costumes for the show?
It kind of depends. Thankfully, a lot of the costumes for the show are like pedestrian high school students. So a lot of the things we could bring in ourselves. But like these jerseys that I'm wearing right now, we had to order ourselves. And I actually was the one who handled that order. We bought them from Advanced Embroidery in Hyannis. And that was very a worthwhile purchase because they look great on stage. And yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of thrift shopping.
Yeah.
It was a lot of thrift shopping in order to find, like, we tried to replicate exactly what Gabriella wore, almost. I think I did an okay job.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of collecting things, and then we found stuff from the costume closet, and it was just a lot of combining, like, little items in order to make a better costume.
Yeah.
So you guys finally excited to put all your hard work to play?
It's going to be so much fun to perform this show.
Yeah, the band sounds really good. Everyone's really excited. The dances look great. So I'm really excited for everyone to come see it.
Nice. And one of the productions?
It opens November 17th, and it runs until November 25th, with shows on the 17th, the 18th, and the 24th and 25th at 7. And then we have 2 matinees on the 19th and the 25th at 2.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming in today. Good luck with the play.
Thank you.
And today we have senior Jolene Phillips and sophomore Hannah Bertling here to talk about the Barnstable High School production of High School Musical. So are you guys excited for the show?
Oh, I'm so excited. The show's a lot of fun. It has so much energy.
I know, I'm very excited.
What are your roles in the show?
So I play Troy Bolton. He's like the star of the basketball team in his high school. He's a big jock guy, played by Zac Efron in the movie.
Nice.
I'm the production stage manager.
So what are your responsibilities?
So I control traffic backstage, make sure everyone is where they need to be and there's nobody in the way, and I make sure the set pieces get on and off stage on time and in an orderly fashion.
So you do all like the back scenes kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And she does a great job.
Good.
Oh,
What is your role?
So Troy Bolton, he's like a big basketball star. This is my first musical, so it's been pretty challenging, like getting into the role, and you know, I don't have a dance background or like a real acting background. This is my first big show, so like it's been a huge challenge, but it's a lot of fun. It's a very exciting show.
Nice. So what do your rehearsals and like run-throughs look like?
Well, up until these past 2 weeks, they've been starting at 2 and going to 5, and we usually will take a couple days for acting and dancing and singing, and we'll try to cycle those and make sure we get everything down. But the past 2 weeks, we've been going from 5 to around 4 to 8, and we've been doing full run-throughs of the show with each cast.
That's a huge commitment.
Yeah, it's been a little different.
It's draining, but it's a lot of fun.
So it's been a little different for backstage. While they were at rehearsals, we'd be back in the shop building. We've built this whole thing.
Wow.
Took a lot of time and a lot of work, but everyone was really good. And then past 2 weeks, we've started full run-throughs, and while they're acting, we're backstage getting everything ready to go out and off, and it's been okay.
Very good. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. Good luck with the show.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
If you can, try to get out to the Barnstable High School and see High School Musical this weekend and next weekend. Now let's take a look at our community calendar. The Osterville Library is hosting a Meet the Artist event this Saturday, November 18th. Artist David Lewis, whose sculptures can be seen around town, will give a talk at 3:30 on Saturday about his life and work. The talk will be followed by a reception. The Cotuit Library will be holding an open community concert this weekend. Go as a performer and or an audience member on November 18th at 2 p.m. Just let them know what instrument and piece of music you would like to share when you sign up either online or at the library. This open community concert is part of their Royston Nash Music Appreciation Series, supported in part by the Arts Foundation of Cape Cod, the Mid-Cape Cultural Council, and the Kirkman Trust. The program is free, but please register at cotuitlibrary.org/events, or you can contact the library at 508-428-8141. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back on Monday with an all-new show. On Monday's show, we will meet Katie Downer. She is the Veterans Counselor at Cape Cod Community College. We'll also talk with Meryl Blum of the Disability Commission. All of that and so much more. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Beal.